Welcome to the Lyvely podcast. I'm your host, Dave Catudal, joined today by Elie Truth.
Elie.truth is my
Elie,
handle.
okay.
Yes.
So Elie has a few names, including Doctor, which I'm going to pry into a little bit today. But this is a really interesting conversation for me. A little bit selfishly, I'm going to be extracting some nuggets of wisdom from Elie because he has an incredible knowledge in anti-aging, longevity, biohacking, and I want to know more about all of that. So without further ado, Elie, it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. So look, I mean, two nutrition nerds,
Yes.
right? Two health nerds at a table having a conversation. And I think we're going to bring a lot of value to those listening because this is such an interesting topic, like longevity, biohacking. What does it really mean? How do I really do it? What do I need? What's what's a fad? What's a trend? So before we get into all that good stuff, and I want to hear about it all.
Sure.
How did you? Okay, let's talk about the doctor thing.
Yeah.
Why have I heard Dr. Elie when people call you like, hey, you got to speak to Dr. Elie. He's so smart. Are you a doctor?
I am a doctor, but not a physician. So I'm a PhD. And my other life, I was a university professor. So that's what I did. And I taught philosophy, English, linguistics, and other things like that. So this is where my career started. And it was what I did. And now I do who I am. So that's the difference, right? So pull-ups, calisthenics, all sorts of stuff that I could get my hands on. I was really always very passionate about looking healthy, being healthy, feeling healthy, and being strong. I love that the ability to use, what you've given and do the best that you can do with it.
Right.
At a younger age, without me realizing how that's something that is profound, perhaps, or
It is.
something that other people would miss. It wasn't a consideration. It was like, this is what I should be doing, and I did it. So I did anything from PT to yoga certification to breathwork certificate. Like there isn't anything that I couldn't put my hands on. This was happening actually for a while before that even. So. And it was, I started then really push myself with specifically with marathons, and I would do a marathon every other weekend, and I would travel all over the States, basically I would only visit the city in a state through a marathon. So I would go in, land at night, pick up my bib, the next morning I would do the run, then I leave that night. So I would see the city running basically the 42K or whatever. So, and I was loving it. I loved it. I love that because you see the city in a way that no one has seen before.
Very unique.
They close roads.
Right.
They you're running down Fifth Avenue. Actually, you run up Fifth Avenue, I think, or down Fifth Avenue. I'm not sure. But when I did the New York Marathon, that was we did the 5 boroughs and we kind of went the whole thing. It was super unique. But I reached a point after, I don't know what, maybe 15th, 18th marathon or something like that, where I felt like this is not sustainable. Like there are obviously limits to this body. And obviously I was getting older and all of that. And this is when I really went into, that was maybe about 10, 15 years ago. So and then I went into recovery modalities and I was trying to kind of begin to understand.
Makes sense. You broke down your body in the marathon.
Exactly.
I need to recover.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's what I thought how do pro athletes do it? What is available to them that is not available to everyone that is not a pro athlete, but is not someone who is dabbling with fitness or just cares about being healthy, but someone who's a little bit more pushing it. And I found nothing. There was nothing around. I found a couple of places that would do certain things. The IV drip was really becoming a little popular.
Is this America now, or is
in
this
the US?
Okay. Oh,
in
wow.
the US, yeah.
Okay.
I went and tried my first hyperbaric chamber that was designed for people that are not in a hospital or it was purely for sports, for performance, and it blew my mind. I got out of it, and the colors were were more vivid. I felt that my scope of vision was wider. Wow. I had my peripheral was I was so clear. I was walking in a daze. It was incredible. So I had such a good experience with that. And then this is like, I thought, this is what I should be doing. Like, this is it, you know? And this is where I really dived into it really properly. Red light, and then I did my first compression. It was the time where it was just kind of being publicized, you know, for NFL and like at players and stuff like that, that they're kind of using it, and people were thinking, what is this? What is this?
Are these the compression boots?
The compression boots, yeah.
I bought those from you, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Every day.
Yeah,
I
right?
use them every single day. Love them. Sorry, carry on.
They're a
But
game
big,
changer.
Big fan. Yeah,
they're a game changer.
Big fan.
They're a game changer. I wish I could say that I was the one who designed them. It's not. There are other companies that have done that, and they've done them specifically for the NFL and the NBA. And then it became, obviously, as most of these companies, when it comes to sports, they start there, and then the players get on board, and then it gets publicity, and then it moves into whatever. This is how things started like rolling. And I thought, like, I need to know more. I need to know more. Like, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? And then, you know, I did anything. I trained in osteopathy. I trained in physiotherapy. I needling. Like, there was nothing. I wanted to be able to tweak the body in any way. This is before I even like dabbled with the name biohacking or understand what it is.
Sure.
You know, when anyone was talking about biohacking, then it was like a little crazy, like a little cuckoo. So it wasn't like the way they were
wasn't mainstream.
It wasn't mainstream. I didn't know I was actually biohacking, and I didn't realize that I was actually biohacking since I was 16. Like, because I paid attention to like what was going on to my body, like how, you know, what my muscle texture is like how does my muscle feel? How well was I sleeping? Like, you know, what is my drinking? Like all of that, you know. But I did feel like a geek many times where, you know, my friends would go out and do something but I don't because I need to get into my sleep. It's still the same now, so that hasn't changed. Someone was inviting me to a podcast the other week, and he says, it starts at 7:30. I'm so sorry. I know this is your bedtime, but like, would it be okay that you?
I get that. We have a lot in common as nerds. You know, it's the life you choose, but wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think the human body is made for that. And I think we get pushed into certain situations that ultimately we don't enjoy. You know, we do something, but we think to ourselves, I would much rather be doing that. We do it because of whatever, you know, social, I don't want to call it requirements, but social
pressure, expectations
or whatever. And that kind of, you know, took me down the rabbit hole into
where we are today.
Into one other rabbit hole and then another rabbit hole.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. I love that. I love that. So, but I just want to recap a little bit for the audience, because like this journey, it's so interesting. You've been embodying the wellness lifestyle since you were young, right?
Yeah.
You didn't realize where that would take you, right? You had no idea. Like that it would result in where you are today, because you had an academic past. I mean, you're a PhD, right? I mean, a philosopher in linguistics, right? A jacked philosopher. Like, I'm sure that was interesting in school when you were a professor. But you really, I mean, I love how you just organically fell into your purpose by, what did you say? Like, you knew this was who you are.
Yeah, it's not what I did.
I love that.
I differentiate between these two. And now it's super clear, because it used to be almost like a bumper sticker, like, you know, but like, I know what it means now. Like, someone would ask me, when is your day off? And I think like I have to always like think twice, like, day off from what? Like, what am I taking a day off from?
I'm 7 on 7.
I have no idea. Like, I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? How would you take a day off from your own life? Like, I don't understand. Like, this is what you do,
really
right?
Cool insight.
So I've reached this point, and I cannot be more grateful. Where I would question stuff like that, you know. Unfortunately, most people, I say unfortunately because I wish everyone can do what they love and don't think of it as work.
I think we're getting there. I think there's an awakening, you know, and I think, again, I'm going to reference your past again, from academic to just having that light bulb moment, which was over a course of time where you realized, I love this physical, you know, I'm obsessed with understanding performance. And then you would travel just for marathons, and then you'd realize, okay, my body feels wrecked, I have to recover. And one thing led to another, and then you're building a business based on your passion. So I want to now talk about your business a little bit. So I bought your compression boots after I met you at like an event where you had some team members showing people the compression boots. And it was my second time trying it, and I was just in the chair, and I was like, I felt like my brain shut down in a positive way. Like I went into almost what I would consider a meditative state, right? Can you explain like some of the non-performance benefits of recovery? Because I felt that substantially. I'm like, I'm so relaxed right now, and that's what I needed more than compression on my legs in a physical way. So can you explain a little bit about how your business works and what different modalities of recovery that you have? Because you also mentioned meditation and yoga. Like, unpack it. What does your business do?
It's massive because, again, that rabbit hole that I mentioned, it just takes you to another rabbit hole or another rabbit hole, and you realize that when you talk about biohacking, for most people, it means some tech device that you would use, and you're cool with it. You're wearing the right clothes, the right glasses. You have a long hair. You're wearing weird clothes, and you must be biohacking for me is everything. From your state of mind to what your emotional state is like, to what your muscle state is like, to what your stomach is like, to your GI, to everything, right? Even your oral health, like it's so important to everything else, right? Not to mention heavy metals and this and that. So this is just the physical aspect of it. Right. And then there is the other part that is quantum, that you think to yourself, right, there are energies everywhere. Now, if I'm energy too, then that influences me too. And then you think to yourself, right, so we're thinking about now, the state of my body now. How healthy can I make it? How can I help it stay as strong as possible? How can I keep it in its natural state of being healthy and not the natural state of fighting disease, right? Or curing disease. Our natural state is healthy. Everything else is unnatural. If there's, if that makes sense. But also, we're talking about now, then when you biohack, you also biohack for the future. You biohack for your kids. You biohack for what's coming next.
I like that.
What you learn is passed on. What we're doing now is passed on. That's biohacking too.
Love that.
And then one of my favorite is that the past is also biohacking. There's so much that you take from the wisdom of the ages that you apply. I had my grandmother that would mention stuff to me like, after dinner you should take a walk. You know what I mean? Like movement after your last meal, right?
Right.
And then I would just think, what? And it actually rhymes in Arabic.
Okay.
It rhymes in Arabic. So the way you would say it was actually a saying. So she must have heard it from her mom, and she passed it to my mom, and my mom passed it to me. Yeah. But now, we know that if you want to improve your digestion, that's as simple as you can. No. So especially at night, because. Better sleep, all of that. If that's not biohacking, I don't know what it is. Right. And there's so much. They would make sure that there's sumac on some of the food. I thought, why? Why? There's so many. Just squeeze a lemon or something.
Right.
But there's wisdom behind it. There could be many things that you could use. And sumac is literally poison ivy. That means someone had to biohack all the different poison ivy in order to find the one that, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what biohacking is.
I love that. That's a great insight.
It's history, present, future. It's you right now, inside and outside, and all of that. So what we try to do at Restore, and I'll talk about the program that is also organically moved from that or emanated from that.
Please.
Is that Restore, we focus on as many of these as we possibly can. So we try to help people sleep. We try to help people reduce muscle pain. We try to help people reduce inflammation. We try to help people improve their nervous system, which we try to help them detoxify. So when we talk contrast therapy, cool, everyone hears it, contrast therapy. What are you trying to do with that? Well, I don't know, hot, cold, veins, something. There's so much to it, and this is what we do differently than anyone else. Anyone can cool some water. Anyone can buy a sauna. They're all so accessible now, especially in a place like Dubai where there's so much disposable income, that people can get a hyperbaric chamber, they can get red light, and many people do. So many businesses have opened. When we opened a few years ago, there were hardly anyone in the space that was doing something like that.
Yeah, you're OG here.
I'm thrilled to kind of made an impact, and other people are actually paying attention and they obviously tried and realized that it worked, and they've added it to their arsenal, or they open businesses.
Right.
But unfortunately, the education behind it is not there.
That's what's missing. So I'll give you an example. I was in the boots. The boots made me feel good.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Right.
So I would love for someone to explain that to me. Why did the boots turn my brain off?
Yeah. Most likely what happened for you during that day is that I think you were speaking before. Yeah.
I was.
So you were under stress, you were sitting on this chair, and I saw you sitting on a stool, and your legs were underneath you, and you kind of squeezed. So most of the blood was actually stuck in your legs, most probably.
Good observation.
But basically what the compression boots do is they act on your lymphatic system. So that means it's pushing all the right fluids, across your whole body.
Yeah.
But it also boosts your blood circulation. So blood circulation is boosted, especially from these large muscles in your legs, where gravity takes a lot of it down. Many scientists calls your calves as your second heart, for example, because they help push it up. Imagine if you give that a little bit of help. It's like giving your heart a little squeeze.
Right, a little pump action.
So exactly.
Yeah.
So it improves circulation, but they were originally designed, and there are several options of them, by the way, and I'll explain that. They were originally designed to take out lactic acid buildup to avoid DOMS, delayed onset muscle syndrome. So when you take off the lactic acid off the muscle because of the small tears that happen after a heavy exercise or a workout or whatever, acid comes and builds up in the muscle. If you squeeze it out, you are bringing down the pain threshold about 80%. So you drastically improve the quality of the muscle if you push away the acid from it.
Makes complete sense.
You'll have to do some other recovery protocols after, like light walk the next day, not too much resting, don't put them up, obviously maybe cold plunging or even a small workout. All of these will help to continue the circulation going, but you can easily do the boots 3-4 times and you will not get DOMS at all because of the squeezing part.
I can attest to that. I've noticed a significant decrease in leg pain after my workouts. Significant, almost to the point where I'm like, did I train yesterday? I'm like, why aren't my legs hurting? Interesting.
Yes. This is consistent with everyone that uses it. It's not like it works with certain people and other people not. It
works.
only doesn't work with people that don't put enough pressure or they're not committed to it. They put it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and they get off it thinking that's
I'm
enough.
in that sucker 45. I'm just down and out.
You have to be 40 minutes
All
on
right.
that, you have to be 40 minutes on that, and the pressure has to be almost just before pain.
Oh, good to know.
So you want the actual pressure to be like proper pressure.
Okay, good to know.
Now you can use it. This is for recovery from taking lactic acid out. But if you want to use it as a relaxation device, then you could have it it will be like a nice little squeeze massage. You're good. So this is great, for example, for women during their cycle, so towards the end of their cycle, it helps quite a bit. If you do like a little relaxing massage, reduces water buildup in the legs. It helps, swollen legs to to stretch.
After flights.
After flights, absolutely. So
I mean, compression boots, big fan. If anyone's listening to this and you want something at home for recovery, if you train hard, for women now, I just learned that whole benefit for women. Love that. Highly recommended, because not only does it have the physical benefits, which are clear, but it has that relaxation and I'm taking care of myself benefits as well. Did you say you had a program coming out of Restore? Or
yes,
tell me about
correct.
that. Tell me about that.
So as we were building the program and the way Restore was put together, we attracted a lot of athletes. So most of our people are athletes. So people that are either aspiring athletes or actual athletes from all walks of life. And obviously we have all sorts of people that use the services, but most people that are active. But then we started getting, because they've seen people how well they look or perform or whatever. Now the regular person that doesn't do as much now wants to feel that way and is trying to kind of use the technologies to actually do that. That's from a technology perspective. So at the beginning of the summer, I thought, how can I bridge the two? How can I create something that will inspire people to say, right, if you want to biohack, if you want to live better life in every way, be it at home, be it with your wife, be it at work, be it like sleep, anything. How would you do that? How would you inspire someone to do that? I created this program called Limitless, and then we opened up the possibility for 6 people to be kind of go on a scholarship with us. So we took care of everything for them. And we said that over 3 months, we will transform what you do. We will improve every possible metric that you have in your life.
Wow.
And we would do that through simple biohacking. So many people applied, as you can imagine. And from those, we interviewed quite a few. And then we ended up with 3 women and 3 men. That was the whole point. So we ended up with 3 women and 3 men. Different ages, from 21 to, I don't want to say the age, but late 40s, and all walks of life, ex-Royal Marine to a runner to someone who's a cancer survivor. Like, it was a wide variety of people. And we then started with something called foundational biomarkers. So we did strength test, blood test, DNA, etc., VO2 max, RMR, all of that different stuff to find out where they are now as a snapshot,
Baseline.
right? And then based on these, we then applied different modalities, from recovery to nutrition to drinking to workouts to whatever, all of that.
So everyone gets something slightly different.
Exactly. So each of them gets according to their test results.
Right.
And their body composition and other stuff like that. And now we are towards the end of that. And even within the second week, they were already doing things that are like they haven't done for years. Like the Royal Marine was saying that he hasn't lifted this weight since he was like 10 or 15 years younger. And that's in 2 or 3 weeks by just making some adjustments, because his body was already super optimized. It just needed to understand what's not working perfectly. Like, what am I deficient in? What else can I change in my diet to kind of give me more power towards the end of the day? Like that sort of thing, right? I mean, just the style. I mean, as you know, like what you eat during the day can slow release, all of that,
Sure.
So brain fog and all of this. So they saw amazing. And one major aspect of the program is that, again, because I never lose sight of the fact that when you're biohacking, if you only focus on the physical, you're doing maybe half the job, if not less, right? So the fact that we were able to talk about why they're doing this, to know that they have someone who has their back and they can reach out to at any time to say, I didn't sleep well last night. I don't know why. Can we talk about it? And stuff like that. And then we would talk about it, and we'll find out, okay, right. So I did a sauna 2 hours earlier, or my meal was this, or I had one drink with my friends, or this or that. Then they start ticking off these boxes, so they know, okay, so if I'm planning to go out and drink, I'm gonna know that something has to change late, or I need to do this or that or whatever.
Right.
That by itself also had added such a great deal to the program itself.
It's biohacking in real life.
Exactly.
You didn't remove them from their
Not
daily...
at all. We didn't change anything at all, not even their gym, the people they were training with. We didn't change their training program. We just gave them some tips on what they should add.
Interesting.
So we didn't want to up, because that's not normal. Like, you don't want to uproot someone's life and then say,
It's not
even those are,
sustainable.
it's not sustainable. And it's not what most people would do, right? So some people even had vacations where they went on a week or 2 and came back. Like, that's what happens.
How long was this program?
3 months.
3 months.
So it's finishing on first week of September.
Oh, wow. With these same 6 people?
With the same 6 people.
Everyone survived?
Everyone
so
survived.
far?
Everyone is doing great. They're doing amazing, actually. It's been a phenomenal journey. So as that took place, I thought, everyone can benefit from this. Like, I want to build...
Not another business.
No, it was, as I said, like it's an extension of Restore. It's not actually another business. It's an extension of Restore. So I launched this program called Limitless Human. It's limitlesshuman.ae. So we're kind of, putting all of what I talked about in one program. So what you do is you basically subscribe for 6 months. You pay an amount of money for us to handle everything about your health, from mental to physical to dental to GI to like foot health, everything, So you don't have to worry about that. We tailor the program around you. And to make sure that in 6 months' time, you are 10 years younger biologically. Yeah? So we turn back your biological years by 10 years, up to 10 years. So
that's life-changing. A 6-month program immersed in learning from the best with all tools that are accessible, but while remaining in your same lifestyle groove, that is invaluable, because you will learn by the end of that time so much about your body, about your mind, and now that will become your set point, right?
Yes.
So kudos to you, because a program like that, once someone experiences that, there's no going back, right? What you learn is with you for life.
Yeah.
I love that.
And it's the experience that makes all the difference in this sort of program. Not because I'm personal, not because of the experiments, not because of what I do on a day-to-day basis, but everyone else's approach is medical. Everyone else's approach 100%. Is shortcuts. Everyone else's approach is not so focused on the things that I think matter the most, such as muscle mass, such as gut health, such as certain things such as mold and heavy metals and all of that. Like, they want the quickest action, like Botox, this, that, whatever, all of that stuff, right? Which is nothing wrong with it. No, but in the long term, and it doesn't really make your organs healthier or younger.
Correct.
So what the program does, because we do this general awareness to what your body needs and can tolerate and not tolerate. That's basically the main thing,
right? Right.
So we just guide you through that. We are your wellness conscience, if you like.
I like that. Yeah. So, yeah. You got the good one and the bad one.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
that. You're the good one.
Yeah. So we use fitness trackers to all of them. These fitness trackers are linked to a dashboard that I see. And basically, I can say, David, like today we talked about 10,000 steps, and you did like 8. Like, what happened today, man?
Right.
So stuff like that.
Accountability.
Tracking
Exactly. That's really cool.
So I don't do it on a daily basis, but I do it on a weekly basis. They say, like, we're talking about, 70,000. Now you're at 50. Like, something is not working. What can we change? Like, and all, like, it usually is simple conversation, and they make these tiny changes in their lives, and then they're all set.
Exactly.
Let's say that's if it is 10,000. Like, it's not. I don't want to say that 10,000 is the
different. Right.
We also know like about their sleep, which is a big thing. Like if you know that someone knows if you went to sleep at 8 or midnight, you make life changes to kind of do that.
100%.
Most people just want that, Most people just want that. But obviously it's much more than that.
Of course. So this program is, now you haven't yet quite finished the first pilot program with those 6 people, right? Now, have you already launched the Limitless Human? Like can I join?
Yes. So even with just talking about it, like places like this and just to friends, I already have a short.
I was going to say, the
short
demand
waiting
is there.
list, and I have 7 people that I'm working with right now.
Okay.
That are people that twisted my arm and I actually, it's not just about arm twisting. That's not true actually. I took them on because I felt they could not wait until later on when I could take them.
I like that. Got it.
So they needed it now.
Sure.
So I said, fine, let's get started. But they're aware that the program is
sure. Okay.
So the program is launching officially 1st of October. 16th of September it will be ready, and we'll start onboarding certain people.
Wow.
And then officially it will be launched 1st of October.
God, and you have to be here in Dubai because
no, but it's that's the other thing is that it's an app based. So and then you have access to all the people that are involved in this, the nutritionist, myself, and everyone else. I'm the main kind of guy that you speak to, but there are other people that are involved that are specialists in certain areas. So let's say you needed peptides, right? Yeah, I know a lot about peptides, but I'm not the one who will prescribe them to you.
Got it.
A physician will do that. That is proficient in that particular field.
Love it.
And then a few things like that, right? So we put together this amazing team.
Wow.
The way it works is for the GCC, for the Middle East. So the whole program is designed for people that are living here or from here. It is not a US program that we applied here. It's not a British program that we applied here.
I like that because this is a very specific lifestyle.
Exactly. Not just the lifestyle. It's the air, the dust, the water, the food, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So everything affects you. The sun, like everything.
Yeah.
The gene pool, everything, right? So we've created it for this region. But this doesn't mean that someone that has ancestry here, they're living somewhere abroad, they can manage, or someone who's not, and they say, well, it kind of applies to everyone, but we do tweaks, and even like our nutritional advice has local dishes. Like, if you tell someone to eat more fattoush because it has, sumac in it or whatever, you mentioned sumac again.
Antioxidants. I'm stuck on sumac now too. I had no idea that was poison ivy.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay. It's one of the highest antioxidants in the world.
In the world.
Like the ORAC value is off the charts.
Like FDA, kind of puts it on the top of the list. There's every nutritional list in the world puts it on the top of the list.
Incredible.
And it's just poison ivy.
Who knew?
And it's abundant here, used in almost so many dishes.
Yeah.
And so on. Okay, let's talk about sumac.
We'll do a separate episode about sumac.
So the nutritional advice is based on local stuff.
Yeah.
More olive oil, more garlic, more this, more that. It may not apply, but again, the world is small and it's available everywhere.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is that it was not designed to be for the rest of the world. It was designed for the Middle East.
Oh, wow, very. Look, there's a huge demand for that, as you know. People are going to be lining up for this. So, where do we find? I mean, besides your physical office, like, do you have a website? Okay, can you shout that out right now?
Yes,
I want to put that up on the screen.
So it will be launched in a few days. So you're like the
all right, don't rush there. Well, this will only launch in a few days too.
Okay, good. So limitlesshuman.ae actually.
Limitlesshuman.ae.
Yes, sir.
Amazing.
So it will be also on my socials, and I've created a social for it, and there's actually a section on Lyvely where they will have something similar to that, where it will be a paid forum, I think you call it.
Yeah.
And this is where I would answer questions about stuff like that, sort of an advice, basically, on all things biohacking.
I love that. So I look forward to pushing our Lyvely community to that, because there's a wealth of knowledge there. Now, what I love about this is not everyone is going to be able to participate in the bigger 6 month, right? But there's going to be a lot of wisdom and a lot of benefit and value added in your group forum, like you said, just becoming a member of that inner circle. There's so much we could learn. So thank you for that.
And that will be super exclusive for Lyvely anyway, because first of all, I don't have time to do it anywhere else, and because this is my home and my family, so that's why it's staying with Lyvely. What we're hoping to do in the future is to actually have a tier for Limitless Human, kind of what Elon Musk did with his Teslas, launched the most expensive one, and then to build the cheaper one so everyone can. So ultimately, that's what I want. I don't want to be an elitist program. I don't want for people that only can afford it and all of that. This is for everyone. It's human nature. We are all built, as I said earlier. We are our default setting is to be healthy, is to be strong, is to walk upright, is to have enough muscles to sustain us at an older age, and so on, right? So that's a non-negotiable for me, and it's my life mission to make sure that people understand that and apply it.
I love that, and I love that. Again, I mean, full circle here as we come to the end of the podcast. You started with the journey from academia, but the whole thread between throughout that whole thing was you felt like your health was almost like your identity, and you had to pay that forward almost.
Absolutely.
And so what I love again is when people build businesses based on passion, and it's they're embodying it, and that's what I feel from this program is it's just an extension of you. It's the wisdom you've accumulated, it's the information, and now you're just sharing that with the world in the form of a business. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, and my training and education background, all of that massively contribute to this.
Huge.
Because I really believe that serendipity, right? So if I hadn't gone down that path, I wouldn't have the ability of research and inquisitive nature and being able to navigate rabbit holes so I can get and then the flip side of this is that if you've seen any of my content, I just make it simple. It doesn't have to be.
That's what I resonated about right away. I'm this guy makes it easy.
And I don't like to don't do that. There is no such thing as an absolute.
Love it.
Look at what's happening. Then decide if you don't or do, or maybe yes or maybe no. That's kind of my approach, and people like that, and it makes sense because it makes sense to me. So that journey helped. Without it, I don't think I would be 100%. Able to share the information the way that I share it.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to do more of that because it's valuable, and hopefully we'll do a lot more of that with Lyvely in the community.
Right.
Because then it would be a place where we know that these people are here for this.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So
they're engaged. They want to hear what you have to share.
Exactly.
One word that just came up again is I'm just thinking that's just authenticity. The way you're sharing it. So do you teach? I have to keep prying. Sorry.
Please do.
Do you teach, like, do you coach coaches? Like, because you have all this knowledge, right? Or are you kind of extending that through this business where your clients are kind of learning enough to almost be able to coach them, like coach others themselves? Or do you have a coaching plan?
I see it. No, not
more
really.
people need to know what you know. That's what I'm trying to say.
Not really. There's only so much time in the day to kind of do this sort of thing.
Yeah, good point.
But what I love is I know for a fact that my clients are passing on to their kids and to their wives and to their neighbors. I know for a fact.
Beautiful.
You know?
Beautiful.
And they're not just passing on, oh, I'm taking this vitamin C, you should take it. Like that is a no-no. Like they know they shouldn't do that, you know? But they're passing on to the fact that, have you checked if you have heavy metals? Like, you know, do you have metal like fillings?
Right.
Do you,
Right.
you know, what's your stomach like? Because that dictates everything else.
Yeah.
Like they're starting to ask the right questions and getting people to look into the answers of these. And then like one of these could be life-changing. Like it could be the difference between, you know, dealing with cancer or living healthily, or, you know, living to be 60 or living to be 80, fully cognitive, moving, doing all the great things that your body is designed to do. Just simple things like that. Again, the past, the present, the future, what we do with everything.
It's beautiful. Well, look, I'm going to leave it on that because I think that's a powerful message. I think everyone is going to resonate with that, and I'm super thankful that we were able to share this. But I think we need another episode where we dive even deeper, you know, like the processes of what you do and then all of the different diagnostic tools, because diagnostic kind of came in my mind. I'm like, well, I want to hear what you would recommend. So, but it was a real pleasure, and I'm looking forward to the next one already.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.